nationalistic tone of the vernacular press became more pronounced during the time. The role played by Swadeshi Mitran in Tamil Nadu, Kesari in Maharashtra, Yugantar in Bengal are few examples. As the nationalist movement gained support among government passed a series of repressive acts such as Meetings Act 1907, the Explosive Substance Act 1908, the Newspaper Incitement and Offence Act 1908, and the Indian Press Act 1910 to crush the nationalist activities of any nature. One such measure was recording and monitoring of public meetings which were considered a matter of judicial scrutiny. Shortened. In the lesson, while discussing the Bengal as well as national scenarios, the Swadeshi campaigns conducted in Tamil Nadu with the particular focus on the role played by VOC and VV Subramania Siva and Subramania Bharati. On January 6, 1899, Lord Curzon was appointed the new Governor General and Viceroy of India. This was a time when British unpopularity was increasing due to the impact of recurring famine and plague. Curzon did little to change the opinion of the educated Indian class. Instead of engaging with the nationalist intelligentsia, he implemented a series of repressive measures. For instance, he reduced the number of elected representatives in the Calcutta Corporation in 1899. The University Act of 1904 brought the Calcutta University under the direct control of the government. The Official Secrets Act 1904 was amended to curb the nationalist tone of Indian newspapers. Finally, he ordered the partition of Bengal in 1905. The partition led to widespread protests across India, starting a new phase of the Indian national movement. Bengal Presidency as an administrative unit was indeed an unmanageable in size. The necessity of partition was being discussed since the 1860s. The scheme of partition was revived in March 1890. In Assam, when Curzon went on a tour, he was requested by the European planters to make a maritime outlet closer to Calcutta to reduce the dependence on the Assam-Bengal railways. Following this, in December 1903, Curzon drew up a scheme in his minutes on the territorial redistribution of India, which was later modified and published as the Risley newspapers. From December 1903 and 1905, this initial idea of transferring or reshuffling some areas from Bengal was changed to full-fledged part of partition. The Bengal was divided into two provinces. Eastern Bengal and Assam were included in the divisions of Chittagong, Dhaka, parts of Rajshahi Hills of Tipperah, Assam province and Malda, aimed at the Hindu-Muslim divide. The intention of Curzon was to suppress political activities against British rule in Bengal and to create Hindu-Muslim divide. The government intentionally ignored alternative proposals presented by the civil servants, particularly the idea of dividing Bengal on linguistic basis. Curzon rejected this proposal as this would further consolidate the possession of the Bengali politicians. Curzon was adamant as he wanted to clearly see a segregated Hindu and Muslim population in the divided Bengal. Curzon, like many before him, knew very well that there was a clear geographical divide along the river Bhagirathi. Eastern Bengal dominated by the Muslims and the Western Bengal dominated by the Hindus, and in the central Bengal the two communities balancing out each other. There was a conscious attempt on the part of Bengal British administration to woo Muslim population in Bengal. In his speech in Dhaka in February 1904, Curzon assured the Muslims that in the new province of East Bengal, Muslims would enjoy unity which they never enjoyed since the days of old Muslim rule. The partition, instead of dividing the Bengal people along the religious line, united them. Perhaps the British administration had underestimated the growing feeling of Bengali unity identity among the people, which cuts across caste, race, class, religion, and regional barriers. Both the militants and moderates were critical of the partition of Bengal since it was announced in December 1903, but the anti-partition response by leaders like Surendranath Banerjee, the editor of the Bengali newspaper, K.K. Mitra, and Prithvish Chandra Ray remained restricted to prayers and petitions, and the objective was limited to influencing public opinion in England against the partition. However, despite this widespread resentment, partition of Bengal was officially declared on 19th July 1905. With the failure to stop the participation of Bengal and the pressure exerted by the radical leaders like Bipin Chandra Pal, Ashwini Kumar Dutt and Aravindo Ghosh, the moderate leaders were forced to reconsider their strategy. Boycott of British goods was one such method, which after much debate was accepted by the moderate leadership of the Indian National Congress. So for the first time the moderates went beyond their conventional political methods. It was decided at a meeting in Calcutta on 17 July 1905 to extend the protest to the masses. In the same meeting, Bhupendranath Banerjee gave a call for the boycott of British goods and institutions. On 7th August, at another meeting at the Calcutta Town Hall, a formal proclamation of Swadeshi movement was made. However, the agenda of Swadeshi movement was still restricted to securing an annulment of partition, and the moderates were very much against utilizing their campaign to start a full-scale passive resistance. The British militant nationalists, on the other hand, were in favor of extending the movement to other provinces too and to launch a full-fledged mass struggle. Spread of the movement. Students in particular came out in large numbers, reacting to the increased role of students. British officials threatened to withdraw the scholarship and grants to those participating in programs of direct action. In response, a call was given to boycott official education institutions, and it was decided that efforts were to be made to open national schools. Thousands of meetings were organized in towns and villages across Bengal. Religious festivals such as Durga Pujas were utilized to invoke the idea of boycott. The day Bengal was officially partitioned, 16th October 1905, was declared as a day of mourning. Thousands of people took bath in the Ganga and marched on the seas and Calcutta singing Vande Mataram. The boycott and Swadeshi were always interlinked to each other, and each has a wider plan to make India self-sufficient. The Subramanian nationalist leader from Madras succinctly explained the aim of the Swadeshi movement as a revolt against the state of independence in all branches of their national life. In the words of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, the Swadeshi movement is not only improvement of our industry, but also an all-around enhancement of our national life. As the movement progressed, different definitions of Swadeshi appeared. However, for the largest part, the movement of Swadeshi and boycott was practiced as an anti-colonial agitation and not a survivable method to achieve dignity and freedom in life, a definition which would be later infused with the entry of Mahatma Gandhi.